Hey everybody, this is Scott Payne, the Scott Payne YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and I'm going to be doing some better quality videos and all that. Just working on it. Just give me a chance, man. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about the EVH D Tuna, and yeah, on my Kramer Snake Sabo guitar. The thing about the D tuners is if you don't set them up right, don't know how to do it, don't have all the info, it's a pain in the ass and it takes forever to get set up right, especially when they don't tell you everything you need to know. I had a couple EVH guitars and their instructions were, when you tune it, make sure it's pulled out and you tune it like you're doing a drop D tuning, all that basic stuff there. And there's a little teeny tiny screw in there, and that's how when you put it back in, that's how you tune it, fine tune it back into E and everything. So that way when you pull in and out, that it's all good. But they want you to have this thing set all the way back against the body, springs tight, and that's all good and fine because you need to only go dive bomb with the D tuner on there, because otherwise it'll go out of whack if you're floating. But when you do that, and it's all the way against the body, and you don't have a trim stop in here like this little thing right here against the block, if you don't have one of those in there, then it might give you some problems, because if you set the bridge against the body, there's this little teeny tiny piece of metal right here where all the little fine tuners hit. And this one is obviously it's way down because it's got the D tuner there. So when you set your bridge, you need to have that off of the body enough to where when you push it in, so you're in standard tuning, that it's not trying to force it in because it's against the body. And then if it is against the body and you pull it out, then that's going to release some of the tension, and then all the other strings are going to go out of tune. Now, they don't tell you that anywhere. So basically, the easiest way to do that is, tune your guitar to what you want to tune it to, and then when you get to tuning your low E string with the D tuner, have it pulled out because you're going to tune that to your drop D. And you set the bridge as close as you can, have it set to D, and then push the D tuner in like your standard tuning, but don't worry about tuning it yet. You want to take you want to look and make sure that that piece of metal where that tuner is not touching the body. It'll be very, very close, but I can take a card and slide right in between it. And that's all you need. Once you do that, then you can do your fine tuning adjustment and then double check with the card and make sure. But the only real way that you're going to be able to do that is get a little trim stop in here, or put something in there yourself that it's going to keep it off the body. And the other thing is, if you do it all the way back to the body, and especially on like the arch top EVHs, it's going to kick back, so your trim's not actually going to be level. It's going to be back like that. And now when I changed out my brass block, I didn't put there's like a little plate that went in between that and those pieces of metal, which according to the guy from FU Tone, it's a tone sucker, so he left it out. And I've tried it both ways, and with it in there, it wants to kick your Floyd a little too far forward. This way, with that out and the little tuner in here, or the little trim stop in there, you can get that almost perfect to where it's just right above there, and you get better action that way. Everything stays nice and stable. So that's the easy part on that. And sometimes it's still a little tight. You'll have to maybe pull on the bar, pull it out, push it back in. But I haven't had any more problems with it on this guitar or any of the EVH stuff that I've worked on since then. Other thing about this one, now I will do some better pictures and get some of this stuff up here for you so you can see what I'm talking about there, because it's hard to see right now on the camera. You can see these little pieces of metal there, but the one on the low E string is going to be much lower to the body because of the D tuner there. So that's what I'm talking about. You got to have, and that works just fine. Of course, this one I've obviously done some mods to. I've got the big brass block in here and the, noiseless springs. My other thing with this guitar, 7 pickups to find something that worked good with this one. I don't know, there was something about it. I wasn't really happy with the original one. It wasn't, just wasn't quite where I wanted it. So the first thing I did with that was I pulled the magnet out and replaced it with an Alinco 8 magnet, which I have Seymour Duncan alternative 8s and a couple of my Gibson Les Pauls in there. Rocks. It's a good high output pickup, but it's not as, you know, ear shredding whenever it's in the highs and stuff like a ceramic magnet. That's neither here nor there. So anyway, that didn't work, so I pulled that one out and I put a Seymour Duncan JB in it. Just something middle of the road, and that just didn't do it. So luckily they do the thing where if, 20 days, 23 days, you can send it back, and I did that, and I got a Duncan Distortion, which used to be one of my old faithfuls. And it sounded really thin. It just wasn't giving me my Zach harmonics, or, it was kind of weird. So that one didn't work, so I went ahead and threw that in a newer Les Paul I got that I needed a hot bridge pickup in. So I went from that, and I was going to go with active, so I decided I'll get my EMG 81. Great pickup, got it in the other guitars, and then I went, well, I'll try the new one, the 81X. Did it, super thin, did not work in this guitar. So sent that one back. Now in between waiting on the other pickup I ordered, I have a set of EMG 5766s in my son's Flying V. I pulled the 57 out and put it in here, and it sounded good, really good. But it made it sound like, right in with all the other stuff. It wasn't, perfect. I know this guitar is meant for a certain thing. I wanted to kind of keep it in that vein, but not just something so thin or not enough ballsy harmonics that I couldn't handle it that way. And I didn't want it to be exactly the same. So after all that, I decided on, if it's a one pickup guitar, I'll just get something I can do all kinds with. So I decided on the Fishman Fluence modern ceramic humbucker, which is what's in here now. And it's got, two separate voicings. So it's like a active voicing and a passive voicing. Now I went ahead and I also hooked up the, coil split. And the weird thing is the instructions they give you is for the voice 1 and 2, and then like a high pass, like cutting the volume down, not doing a coil split. It made no sense to me. And when you do the coil split, you got to solder a different wire on and run it out and all that stuff that you have to find on the internet, because they don't send that to you. It was kind of odd. But anyway, what I found is the active voicing, which is voicing 1. It's clean. I mean, everything comes through. It's freaking great, and it's a great clean tone too. But if you're doing some chunking, and you get to certain things, it's just kind of thin there. But pull it out, and it instantly gets you some more balls on that low end chugging, but it's still super clear. So I'm actually preferring, the voice 2 over the voice 1. Voice 1 on clean, voice 2 on high gain stuff. I was going to resolder it to where I could just voice 2 was down and pull up for, but I was like, screw it. I know what I'm doing. It's fine. But yeah, I went through tons of pickups with this guitar. It's just amazing. I've never had that issue. I mean, I've either put a pickup in and I just like, no, I don't like it in that guitar, but there was a reason. Like, it wouldn't have enough output, or it wasn't too, wasn't tight enough on the low end. It's just every one that I put in here was off. And it was something different every time, but it was off. It was too thin, or, and I was amazed that the Duncan Distortion did not give me my Zach harmonics that I can hit on pretty much anything. And they were just thin and just not there. And it's nothing to do with the guitar setup or anything like that. But, I finally got it set up, and that's my rant and rave on the pickup situation. But I hope with the EVH Tuner answers some questions. And I'll get some pictures and do some up close stuff. If you need to ask me anything, just shoot me a couple questions. I've got videos up on a bunch of oddball stuff. I like my 2015 Les Paul Classic, which that's the year that everybody went, no. But I've got that. I've got a 2017 Gibson Les Paul Traditional High Performance, just cause. And but it's got all the oddball stuff on there. I've got some videos on that, and I've also got stuff on like my Schecter Hellraiser 7-string with the Sustainiac. I've got a video up showing how you adjust all the trim pots and what they are inside, because there's really no videos up on YouTube about that. So anyway, Kramer Snake pickup number 7, and how to set up your EVH D Tuna. Just make sure you get one of these, man. I mean, you can make one, because honestly, this one came with it, but to buy them, I can't believe they're like 15, 20 bucks just for a couple screws. But either way, you're going to need that if you want to set up a D Tuna correctly. Now, if you got it set up without, one of those in there, great, let me know. So I'd like to know how you did it, because I went through 4 or 5 of those, and this is the best way I figured out to do it. So, all right. Catch you people later. Like, subscribe. And, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying. The video quality, maybe I should just be on TV.